So GIFs can make your emails look 10 times better and more professional, and also increase performance. But knowing how to do them and knowing how to do them correctly are two completely different things. In this video, I'm going to cover exactly how to create custom GIFs inside Figma, and then how to transport them over into Klaviyo, and also some general rules of thumb and do's and don'ts that you want to avoid when using GIFs in your emails. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see, there's three different types of GIF. I'm going to start off with the video GIF, which is the easiest and most straightforward one to do. All you need is a short MP4 file that you can take into a Google website, which I'm about to show you, which then transforms it into a GIF where you can upload it into your Klaviyo emails, which, like I said, I'm going to be covering towards the end of this video. But all you need is your video, and then you can transport it into a GIF. So this is the tool I like to use to do this. All you need to do is go ahead and select your file from your computer. Once your file's uploaded, make sure that it's converting whatever file video it is, probably going to be an MP4, into a GIF, and then go ahead and hit convert and wait for that. Once that's done, you can just download it as a GIF file, and it'll be the same upload process as the other GIFs that I'm going to show you how to create. So really straightforward. Something to note with this, however, is that if you're transporting big videos into GIFs, they can be quite big. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on the file size for these GIFs, and make sure they're not too big, because if they're too big, your emails will load really slow. Now all you need to do is hit download, and you've got that GIF ready to use in your emails. So the second type of GIF I want to touch on is a rolling GIF. So this is when you see emails with text at the top or at the bottom or anywhere in the email really that's got text scrolling along that you can read. And yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really good for the top of emails and also at the top of footers. So I'm going to show you how to do this. This one's very straightforward, but can take a bit of time to do. So let's get into this. So what you're going to start off with is your frame, which will be 600 wide, because that's sort of our general frame for emails. If your email is a different width, then use that width, but I genuinely recommend 600. You're going to create your frame like this, 600 by whatever. I'm going to use 100 in this example. As you can see, I've gone ahead and added my text, so I'm just going to show you this. So the text we're going for, this will be put at the top of an email, and all we're saying is free shipping, the discount code for the welcome offer, and free 30-day returns. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here, and then we're going to slide it all the way to the very right-hand side, which is where we're going to want the GIF to start from. Just going to change the background color as well, so we're all matching. And then what you're going to do is a pretty tedious process, but you're going to copy and paste this, and then every single time you're going to select the text and shift click with your arrow one to the right. And you're basically going to do this until you get to the other side of the text. And then once you've done that, you'll have loads of frames, and then I'm going to show you how to transport that into a GIF. Alright, so when you're done, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. As you can see, we've got a lot of frames, but this is just moving one shift click every time to the right hand side. And what you're going to want to do is come over to your plugins and search Tiny Image Compressor. Find this plugin, go ahead and load it up. And what will happen is, if you're using a frame with loads of different, if you're using a project with loads of different stuff, this will try load. So just close that out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to select all of your frames that you want to use. And then go ahead and make sure that you do this step. So on the right hand side, click export 2 times PNG, and then just have that set ready. And then what you can do is you can go back into your plugins, select Tiny Image Compressor, and then what it's going to do is it's going to select all the layers that you have selected. So as you can see, this took 44 different layers to create this GIF. Okay, so once everything's loaded, you want to go create GIF/MP4. Now, something to note is this software is actually paid. You do get 10 free uses, but that's just something to remember. So as you can see, now we've got our GIF, and what we probably want to do is we probably want to speed it up a little bit because we're using so many different GIFs. But as you can see here, this is our speed. So yeah, like I said, we just want to make these frames a bit shorter so it speeds up the GIF. Probably a sweet spot for a GIF like this is probably around 200 milliseconds per frame. As you can see, that just cycles through nicely. You can still read everything, but it's still showing you all the information that you need to know. So you can have a mess around with this. There's a few different settings. I recommend having best quality as 100. Make sure that you're exporting it in 2 times, because that's what we want to export it in for Klaviyo. And then yeah, that's pretty much everything there. So what you want to do is you want to hit export GIF. And then all that it's going to do is it's just going to download it as a GIF file. As you can see, we're just going to download that as test GIF. And now later, when we go into Klaviyo, you can just upload that in as you would a slice or an image. So yeah, that's the roller GIF done. And then the final type of GIF I want to cover is just a basic GIF that you'd see inside of an email. So what you want to do for this GIF is you want to frame the selection out of the email that you want to create a GIF out of. So for example, I want to create a GIF out of this little product here. So what I've done is I've selected the full email and I've gone ahead and created a frame within the email with a group, and inside this group is what I want to create the GIF out of. Now, either you can do this as you're creating the email, just make sure that the GIF will be inside the frame, or if you've already made the email and then you want to add a GIF to it, just do what I've done and go in and create a frame around the aspects that you want to create the GIF of. But yeah, it's easier if you can do it while you're creating the email. Just make sure that whatever GIF components you want to add are in a frame as one. So as you can see, this allows us to just copy paste this and just take it out, and we can make our GIF here, and then we can just put it back in afterwards. So same process here, but just a lot more simple. For this GIF, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this around just to add a bit of life to this product section here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to edit the first step first, and I'm going to have this tilted that way. And then I'm going to create a third frame, and I'm just going to tilt it the other way. And then also what we can do is we can go ahead and try this out. I'm not sure how this is going to look, so bear with me. I'm just going to move these up and see what we can do with those. Okay, so now we've got a little GIF going here. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to select all these, make sure that they're all exportable in the bottom. Go over to my plugins, select Tiny Image Compressor, and then it's going to select our GIF. And now let's see how it looks. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to look. Yeah, so that's not too bad there. You can see that in an email. What I will do is I will slow this down a little bit though, because it is a bit fast. Probably go around 400 with this one. And yeah, there we go. There's our GIF. So I'm going to export this GIF like I did, and then we're going to have that saved, ready to put into our email. All right, so now we've got our GIF files inside of Figma. What we can do if we want to have these inside of Figma so we can either show our clients or just have a look what they look like within the emails, we can downscale them, because obviously we upscaled them earlier to 600. And then what we can do is we can use another plugin, which is called GIF export. What we're going to do is we're going to select the GIF that we want to view, go on GIF export, and then we can hit play GIF, and then it's going to play the GIF sort of inside the email. So as you can see, what I would do for this email, for example, go ahead and cancel that, is I would copy this and I'd replace it there. So now this email has a GIF in it that way you can play. And this shows what the whole email will look like once it's all done. So as you can see, the GIF is playing. And yeah, that's inside Figma. Same with this one. We can go ahead and play this. And as you can see, that's just going to cycle through as it would. So that would be sort of placed at the top of an email, under or above the logo section, just to give some extra information. So yeah, that's a pretty nice, straightforward GIF that I like to use. So now we know how to make GIFs. Let's go over how we get them into Klaviyo. So the way that these GIFs work is that they basically act as a slice. So if you're familiar with using Figma for emails, you'll know that when you want to get an email into Klaviyo, all you do is slice it up and then take those slices and upload them into Klaviyo. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our slices, and then we're going to make sure that the slice perfectly lines up with the GIF. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create our second slice, and we're just going to drag it underneath the GIF, and basically the GIF will act as a slice. So we're going to move that up, and again making sure that they're perfectly lined up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drag this down, doesn't matter to where, I'm just going to drag it down to there. And then I'm going to export these two slices, again making sure they're 2x in size. Now we can go ahead and add this into our Klaviyo email. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add 3 images, because that's what we've got. And then I'm going to go ahead and upload my first image in. As you can see, this is just the headline. And then we're going to upload the GIF. So the GIF is the exact same process. There we go, there's the GIF. And then we can add our last image in. And then obviously add your alt text. Obviously do this better than me. And you're going to link your website. Okay, so now you have your GIF email. I'm going to go ahead and send this to my inbox so I can show you what it looks like when it's in the inbox. But yeah, that's everything for GIFs. So here we have it inside the inbox. Looks just how it did in Figma. It looks really nice. And as you can see, this is how we're going to do it for all of our different GIFs. Very simple process. And yeah, I hope this covers everything that you needed to know to do with GIFs. If you want us to cover this confusing, complicated design stuff, go ahead and book a free consult with me at my website. And yeah, that's everything for GIFs. Bye.